Meet Oh Hyun-min, youngest manager in company history, CPA while still in school, the guy executives dump every impossible project on because he always delivers. In the cutthroat corporate world, he is the closer. But success has a price. 3 straight months of overtime have turned the subway ride home into a slow motion collapse. Empty seat at rush hour? That is pure happiness, until his body finally waves the white flag. 1 second he is dozing on the train, the next he is standing on cold stone steps under a red Kool-Aid red sky, staring down at a screaming green horde. Overwork finally broke him, or something far stranger just began. Green skin, long ears, the exact kind of disposable monsters you farm for XP in every game. Hundreds of them are roaring and pointing spears straight at the man in the suit. Oh Hyun-min's first thought is simple. He has either cracked from overtime or gone completely insane. Then the chanting starts. Our Lord has come. Long live our Lord. The goblins drop to their knees like he is royalty. They even speak fluent Korean. The weakest monsters in the food chain just crowned a burned-out office worker their king. A tiny goblin with a red scarf toddles up, big eyes shining, and offers him a shiny red apple like it is treasure. My lord, eat! In a world that wants him finished, the first employee benefit is free fruit. He takes a bite. Best fruit he has ever tasted. Instantly, the world tilts. A glowing blue hologram slams into existence right in front of his face, complete with name, title, and a ticking countdown. Welcome to the system, Manager O. Name, Oh Hyun-min. Position, Lord. Territory, Red Rock Valley. Population, 47. And a territory war timer already counting down. The hologram even has a built-in wiki that answers questions like a corporate knowledge base from hell. He is in the demon realm. His territory level is so low the wiki refuses detailed maps. The only clear fact, a territory war is coming. Every resident gets drafted, and if the Lord loses, authority and his life pass to the winner. Statistics say 99.99% of defeated lords are gone for good. Oh Hyun-min looks at his subjects, malnourished, ragtag goblins who would lose a bar fight to a house cat. No budget, no manpower, no time. It is the exact same impossible project his company always dumped on him, except failure here means game over for real. He asks the only question that matters. If he keeps winning and raises the territory level, can he go home? The wiki answers with one cold, beautiful word. Possible. That is all the incentive a man like him needs. 4 days on the clock, a tribe of the weakest monsters alive, and a corporate shark who has never accepted impossible as an answer. Oh Hyun-min straightens his tie in the middle of a monster cave and makes a decision. He has no intention of becoming another statistic. The man who once turned failing departments into profit centers is about to apply the same ruthless playbook to a goblin tribe. Roles, incentives, quotas, the whole package. He turns to the waiting green faces, eyes sharp with the same fire that made him the youngest manager in history. The goblins have no idea their new lord is about to run them like a startup on the end March deadline. Starting tonight, everyone is on overtime. The words hang in the air like a corporate decree. Overtime creates miracles, and these goblins are about to learn exactly what that means. The weakest monsters in the world just got a CEO. 4 days until war. The Goblin Corporation is open for business, and nobody in the demon realm is ready for the quarterly results. Chapter 2 opens at the mouth of a miserable little cave. Our corporate transplant stands there in a suit that has no business existing in a fantasy world, staring at the single narrow choke point that leads into goblin territory. One look and the businessman brain kicks in hard. The entrance is the end funnel if you are dumb and a fortress if you are smart. He locks eyes with the nearest goblin and asks the only question that matters. How do you win on terrain this bad? The goblins just stare. Classic entry-level workforce energy. A system window pops up telling him his territory level is too low for answers. He facepalms so hard you can hear the corporate soul leave his body, then snaps back into manager mode. "Shut up, focus, class is in session." He points straight up the cliff face. They are going to turn this narrow passage into a meat grinder using nothing but rocks, trees, and pure spite. 10 goblins get tree cutting duty. The rest start hauling every loose stone they can find and stacking them on the high ground. The goblins scramble like unpaid interns on their first deadline. He barks orders, corrects the lazy ones, and makes it crystal clear: if you do not work your hands raw, the enemy will finish the job for you. Corporate motivational speaking at its finest. Night falls. The entire tribe is covered head to toe in dust and sweat, spears and rocks piled high. He looks over his exhausted green workforce and delivers the line every overworked employee has ever heard: "Everyone, you worked hard." Then he drops the real speech. Overtime mode activates. Efficiency up, stamina down, but every drop of sweat they shed tonight becomes a drop of red Kool-Aid the enemy will spill tomorrow. He raises a spear like a CEO raising a quarterly target and demands a powerful shout for 3 full seconds. The goblins lose their minds. Overtime, overtime, overtime. For the first time, these bottom-tier monsters sound like a department that actually wants the win. He grins. The real work is just getting started. Formation training begins under moonlight. Line up shoulder to shoulder, hold the spear like this. When he says advance, take 1 step. When he says thrust, you thrust. Even a clumsy imitation of real infantry tactics is an edge these goblins have never had. They fall, they get up, advance, again, get up, again. He drills them until their hands tremble and their eyes change. Repetition beats talent, and these goblins are about to become living proof. By the time the sky starts lightening, something has shifted. The goblins grip their spears like they mean it. Their faces no longer look like free experience points. They look like employees who finally understand the mission. Then a tiny goblin in a red scarf toddles up and drops the most heartbreaking line of the chapter. "Just send us as food. It has happened before." The Lord freezes. This is the old goblin business model. Sacrifice the weak so the rest maybe survive another day. He kneels, looks the little one gone in the eye, and shuts that idea down forever. They will not offer children as food. They will not give up a single grain of sand. From this day forward, the Goblin Corporation fights with everything it has. The entire tribe roars back the promise: not a single child, not 1 inch of land. The countdown hits 0. Territory war is live. Enemy forces identified. Black Hill goblins pouring out of the dark like a hostile takeover. Our side locks into the formation they drilled all night. Spears rise in a perfect line. The Lord stands at the front of his green startup and gives the order that turns a tribe of disposable monsters into a company ready for war. Now come at us. The weakest monsters in the world just punch their time cards, and the Black Hill goblins have no idea the hostile acquisition is about to go the other way. Chapter 3 opens in the dark, and the goblins are not panicking for once. They are lined up in a narrow cave like employees waiting for the bell, spears ready, eyes locked on the drop ahead. Their new boss has turned a hole in the ground into the world's cheapest kill box. The order is simple and pure corporate discipline. Focus. Do not move until the bastards fall into the pit. One nervous goblin almost ruins the whole shift, but the boss in the suit is right there, calm as a man watching a quarterly report load. Then the floor drops out of the enemy plan. Invaders tumble straight into the trap while the goblins hold position like they actually read the memo. The boss watches the chaos and delivers the coldest performance review of the day. Those guys are just as pathetic as we used to be. Hunting season is officially open. He tells the squirming targets to thrash all they want, then come closer. Half of them cross the line and the retreat window slams shut. This is not a brawl. This is a scheduled downsizing. The boss has one more line item on the agenda. He's going to make them regret ever setting foot on goblin real estate. On his signal, the sky turns into a rock-throwing department, and every goblin who is ready clocks in hard. Boulders rain. The pit becomes a blender. Enemies who thought they were raiding free experience points suddenly discover they are sitting targets with nowhere to run. The boss notes the math out loud. There are not enough of them left to force a breakthrough. Numbers stop mattering. He calls his goblins kids, tells every spear to rise, and gives the only command a startup army needs: advance. Formation holds. Pull back, strike, keep the goblin beside you covered. For the first time, these creatures look like a unit instead of loose change. The spear wall presses while rocks keep falling from above. Momentum flips completely. The boss almost smiles as he confirms the overnight construction project is paying dividends. Everything they built in the dark is now turning the entire battlefield into goblin-owned property. Just when the plan is humming, the real problem walks in. A massive, red-haired hobgoblin smashes onto the field like a hostile takeover, roaring loud enough to shake the cave. This is the Lord of Black Hill, and he is not impressed by the new management. The hobgoblin sizes up the suit-wearing lord and almost laughs. Unimpressive, looks nothing like the other goblins. He demands a one-on-one so the lords can settle it properly. The boss just tilts his head like someone just proposed a very bad merger. The hobgoblin charges, calling him a trembling coward in front of the whole workforce. He wants a sacred duel. The boss has other ideas. Sacred duels are for people who did not spend all night building a rock delivery system. Rocks hammer the hobgoblin mid-speech. The boss never intended to fight fair. Winning is all that matters, and the territory war is already decided. Why would the CEO step into the arena when the entire company can clock overtime instead? The system message lands like a bonus check. Territory war won. The goblins erupt, spears in the air, victory screams bouncing off the cave walls. The weakest monsters just took a hill that used to belong to something twice their size. In the aftermath, one enemy goblin is still twitching. The tribe swarms in for the finish, pure old habits. The boss raises a hand and freezes the entire celebration with 2 words: hold on, stop. His goblins are confused. Finish him and he is just a still body. The boss looks at the beaten survivor the way a founder looks at unused inventory. Keep him alive and he is a resource. That single sentence is pure Goblin Corporation doctrine, and it is about to change everything they thought they knew about winning. Territory just leveled up and the numbers on the board look almost respectable for once. Existing residents plus the newly absorbed tribe push the head count into the hundreds. Our corporate overlord stares at the readout like a CEO reading a quarterly report he actually likes. Loot screen pops. Dried meat, fruit, scraps of leather. Even better, a new trait unlocks: dense infantry. Morale and defense tick up whenever the little green employees pack in tight. Classic underdog efficiency upgrade. Then reality slaps the spreadsheet. A little food and over 200 mouths. The Lord does the math out loud and the answer is ugly. If this keeps up, the entire workforce is finished. Skeletons on the ground make the point without a single PowerPoint slide. One bright orange fruit sits in his hand like a tiny miracle. He freezes mid-crisis. Hold on, where exactly did this come from? The room goes quiet because the boss just found an unscheduled asset. Cue the performance review from hell. A tied-up goblin sweats under the spotlight while the Lord demands a proper answer or a trip to the torture department. The poor guy cracks immediately. Confession time. Big tree, deep forest, picked at night, ran like crazy. The Lord pinches the bridge of his nose, gets it, and shuts the entire peanut gallery down with one corporate glare. Time for some actual management. 1, 2, 3, step forward. The 3 goblins who actually know the tree get singled out for a field assignment. The rest stay put. Suddenly, the tribe has a scouting division. He turns the fruit over like a due diligence report. Not a diamond, just weird forest produce nobody has seen before. Still, any untapped resource is worth a site visit. The 3 scouts get their orders: check the forest, stay quiet, report back. The rank and file want red Kool-Aid. They got bullied, they want payback, they want to rush out and settle scores. The Lord shuts that down hard. You think we won? We got lucky once. Next time, there is zero guarantee. Here comes the real corporate lesson. Preparation is how weak companies survive. No more random brawls. Until the next fight, they train, they organize, they get ready. That is how goblins stop being free experience points. Night drops and the scouting unit moves out. Spears ready, climbing through dark trees under strict orders. Observe only, touch nothing, come straight back. For once, the goblins are trying to follow a process. They find the prize, clusters of strange glowing fruit hanging like forbidden inventory. One goblin reaches, then the forest answers. Red Kool-Aid hits the ground. Something just went very wrong. Panic, screams, a frantic order to go back. Goblins scramble down trunks and through branches while something massive moves above them. The careful observation mission just turned into a full retreat. Back at base, the survivors burst in, screaming for their lord. One of them is gone, dragged straight upward into the canopy. The careful instructions about observing only did not survive contact with whatever lives up there. The lord inspects the scene himself. Thick, sticky webs wrapped around trees, deep stamped holes in the dirt. He pieces it together with cold clarity, a spider, a big one, dense forest, food source, and now a predator sitting on both. Worst case scenario is simple. Lose the food and lose the workforce in one night. So the CEO makes the only call that makes sense. Everyone, pack up. We are going into the forest. The Goblin Corporation just declared war on its first real monster obstacle. Deep in the dark, 8 glowing eyes open. Massive legs unfold from the canopy. The scouting party's nightmare just got a face, and the Lord is walking straight toward it with an entire tribe of freshly organized goblins behind him. Chapter 5 opens in the pitch-black forest, and our corporate overlord is doing what any good CEO does on a hostile site visit, keeping the entire goblin workforce in a tight, single-file formation. No heroics, no wandering off, just cold, quiet discipline while the trees watch them like unpaid overtime. He marches them right to the forest's edge and does a quick head count. Not a single goblin missing. For a species everyone treats like free experience points, that is already a miracle of middle management. Still, the spider problem is not solved, and he needs hard data before the next raid. One goblin is already tangled in the sticky nightmare webs, thrashing and yelling like an unpaid intern on day one. The Lord does not panic. He just files the hazard under known operational risk and keeps moving. Corporate strategy does not stop for sticky situations. He wants answers on these spider webs yesterday. If he could just neutralize the damn things, the whole forest becomes usable real estate. But right now, the only tool he has is a stick and a workforce that still flinches at loud noises. Then the sky decides to file a complaint. Thunder cracks, rain hammers down, and suddenly the entire operation is soaked. The Lord does not hesitate. He barks the only order that matters. Everyone into the cave, now. They pile into the dark mouth of the cave, dripping and shivering. For a second, it looks like the whole team made it. Then the head count comes back short. One goblin is missing, and of course it is the smallest, most reckless one on the payroll. The little guy really did wander off alone. The other goblins are ready to write him off as a lost asset. The Lord just pinches the bridge of his nose like a manager who has seen this exact performance review before. Sending a search party into that storm is giving up by committee. So he does the unthinkable. He grabs a spear, tells the rest of the tribe to stay put, and walks straight back out into the downpour alone. Because that is what a real leader does when one of his people is in the red. No delegation, no excuses. Rain sheets down, lightning splits the sky. He pushes deeper into the black forest, calling out, scanning every shadow. This is not a power fantasy moment. This is a CEO doing damage control in the worst possible weather, armed with nothing but a stick and pure stubbornness. Then he finds him. The missing goblin is thrashing on the ground, rear end literally on fire, screaming that his butt is hot. The little idiot wandered off looking for fruit and somehow set himself ablaze. Classic entry-level mistake. The Lord does not lecture, he just acts. He smothers the flames, hauls the smoking goblin up, and gets a full debrief mid-rescue. Turns out, the kid has a hungry little brother back home and thought solo fruit picking was a solid side hustle. The corporate heart almost skips a beat. And that is when the light bulb goes off. Fire. These goblins have never truly controlled fire. They fear it, they worship it, but they have never weaponized it. In one soaked, smoky second, the businessman sees the ultimate competitive advantage sitting right in front of him. He sparks a torch, one clean, brilliant flame cutting through the darkness. The goblins who followed him freeze. To them, this is not a tool. This is a god descending into the demon realm carrying pure light. The weakest monsters just got handed their first piece of real technology. He looks down at the tiny goblin who almost became a charcoal briquette and makes an executive decision. From this day forward, this little fire starter has a name, Kim Prometheus, because if you are going to hand a monster the gift of flame, you brand it properly. The second the name leaves his mouth, the system answers. A blue window flares to life. Naming effect activated. For the first time, a territory resident has been given a true name. The little goblin's body lights up like a promotion just hit the books. Kim Prometheus stands there glowing, torch in hand, while the rest of the tribe stares like they just watched the stock price triple. The Lord does not waste the moment. He looks at every goblin face and delivers the new company policy. Everyone gets a flame. No more stumbling in the dark. He raises the fire high, eyes sharp, smile colder than the rain still falling outside. The goblins roar his new slogan back at him. The weakest monsters on the food chain just received their first real upgrade package, and the forest has no idea what is about to clock in for the night shift.